All right, folks, welcome back. We got a banger of a match for you. This is playoffs of season 9 of the Springfield Battle League. I am Shrug, and joining me is the GOAT Manly Guy. We got Chuck here
The
on the mic.
goat?
The GOAT, the GOAT.
That's
It's
funny.
undeniable. Uh, so yeah, we got two longtime SBL players here to play for you tonight. They got two really banger looking teams, and I think we're gonna dig into them here. Chuck is gonna kick us off with Spencer's team.
Yeah, so Damage, the team that beat me last week. I'm joking, I'm joking. So Damage's team last week. Damage actually has a very well balanced team that I'm looking at. I like it looks like there's a high offense possibly with Hoopa, but there's obviously a trick room. So there's a lot of versatility going on here, obviously the Sinisha and Hoopa having trick room, but he has other plays to play. He has icy wind for a lot of speed control. So and the assault vest on the tornadoes, and I like the sugar berry on the wheezing. Definitely need to prepare for that. And Rotom Wash with the rocky helmet. So pretty much saying, all right, if you attack me, you're gonna die. Very bulky mon. So it's a very bulky team. It doesn't look like it for some, but this is a very bulky team that just can pretty much outlast and um, play the war of attrition much more into Robbie's team. So now we can kick it up to Robbie's team.
All right, yeah. So Robbie's team, couple mons that are very near and dear to my heart. Leading off the team, we've got Baxcalibur sporting one of my personal favorites, the loaded dice set. You got the extra speed boost from Scale Shot can change a lot of speed calculations for you know things can get very dynamic when you add in that extra speed boost. And then Icicle Spear, I mean, that combined with the Scale Shot, it's very hard to find a resistance. And then you got high horsepower to cover all the steel types. So that's a really strong headliner offensively. And then you've got the speed control support from Kilowattrel with Electro Web and Tailwind. So there's a lot of extra speed there. You've also got the Thunder Wave support from Salazzle. And so that's going to additionally help to control the speed. The thing is that if you look at Spencer's team, he's got the Trick Room mode. So we'll see if the slower, bulkier stuff like Mabostiff and Primarina can contend with that and kind of slow things down against this team. And I think we're jumping right into it. So we're gonna see how things play out here. It looks like our leads. Mabostiff, let's see, it does have the Intimidate, but not very meaningful against this particular setup. And then Baxcalibur definitely threatening some big damage, but looks like Rotom does have some reflect options to deal with that.
Exactly. And right now, Tornadoes is actually positioned weirdly, even though it can do a lot of damage with its Focus Blast. Focus Blast, as we like to call Focus Mist, can kind of, do a lot of damage to both Baxcalibur and Mabasta. That's saying if Baxcalibur does not, Terra right in front of it. But right now, I wouldn't say any of them are in a particularly strong position, but they are in a position that can, essentially change the tides of the game relatively quickly.
It is kind of an awkward state of affairs right now. The Assault Fest is really interesting on this this Tornadus, because usually you want to set up like Tailwind with it, but just going like super bulky and then using Icy Wind for your speed control is really interesting. And actually, Terra Steel, Terra Blast, that's a little more reliable.
Definitely, and I think that's why they chose to Terra so early, because they can get fat damage, and on top of that, you can also live a Scale Shot. Because if this was not Terra Steel, this would already be gone.
Yeah,
poor old
that game would be cooked. But
and we have Reflect. Okay,
so it looks like, I wonder if the Baxcalibur is going to be fast enough to outspeed Tornadus after the +1 from Scale Shot. That could be a really huge difference maker here.
Well, my guess would be is that this Tornadoes would probably be more defensively oriented because
Right.
they're trying to play bulky. So I would imagine that this Excalibur outspeeds it. But okay, that's what
Yeah.
I was like, I'm thinking like there's the only way that you really want to leave this Tornadoes out there is if you can get some sort of healing done, and you have reflect up and you have possibilities. So right now this is a very strong position for Robbie, because no matter what, Damage's team is going to be taking some heavy damage. Haha, I not make that joke on purpose, but it's going to be taking heavy damage. So I'm interested to see how this turn is going to go out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess one really interesting thing, Spencer doesn't have a lot of protect on his team. He just has raw bulk, and the Sinistra is going to play a huge part in feeding into that bulk, kind of helping things survive despite not having protect. And you can see that right here because Tornadoes isn't going down to even a 5-hit scale shot.
Yeah, Reflect coming through with the Hospitality. The Hospitality is definitely needed. It did more than 39 damage, so definitely needed it right there. But
Right.
so Terrorblast is probably going to take out this Excalibur, but let's see where this crunch goes into from Mabasa, because if that goes into the finisher, that is huge.
Right. I don't know if it'd Oko. Maybe it would. Ooh, curse. All right. Yeah, this is there's cursing allowed on the stream, so who that's a little bit more passive on the Mabostif's part, and also I think the Tornadoes is all special, right? So
Yeah.
defensively not that meaningful, but those crunches are going to hit if Mabostif goes for a more offensive direction next.
And I think that was the whole purpose of it, because it was like, okay, well, if I go more offensive, you die. And if you try to go defensive, something else is getting hurt. Like, like right now, Slazzle's in a beautiful position. Right now, you have a Terra Steel Tornadoes in front of you. You also have the Sinistra in front of you. And Mabostif already has a +1 right now. And Mabostif, it can do damage with the crunches. So right now, I would say that damage is playing a little bit on the back foot right now, but it's also totally doable still because, there's just enough bulk. Like we keep saying, there's just enough bulk on Damage's side to, pull it back.
Having Excalibur off the table is really favorable for damage, though. I think that it's really going to come down to some of Robbie's lower point value mons to carry this if Excalibur's not in the picture.
Definitely. And, the great thing about what just happened was that there was a fake out onto the Rotom, which broke Salazzle's Focus Sash.
Right. Yeah, I am kind of curious about why Robbie went for the fake out there. I think the Rotom switch in general just seemed like a very favorable move, because even Flamethrower wouldn't have done that much, but the fake out's just really bad for Robbie.
I think the only reason why they wanted to do that was because they were not sure how fast this Tornadoes is. Tornadoes is naturally faster than Salazzle. So they were like, okay, maybe they have like some sort of crazy speed to it. Maybe they did. We don't know yet.
Right. Yeah, I guess we'll see how it plays out. And also worth noting, Tornadoes also got the regenerator from switching out. So now you've got that crunch still hurt really bad, but still Tornadoes living. Mostly, I'd say thanks to the Reflect, which I believe is still up.
Yes, I think this would be the last turn of Reflect. But I mean, dang, right now it really looks like Robbie was in a position to possibly overcome this. But right now, the damage output is just going to be crazy here. Like, he's relying on Focus Mist, which is also very scary. I won't deny that.
Oh yeah.
But he does have Thunderbolt on his Rotom, so that's not going to do too much to an AV Primarina. But damage is damage.
Yeah, Assault Vest Primarina definitely. It gets a lot of bulk thanks to that, and it also naturally has a pretty good amount of special defense. So you're probably not getting O-code by the Thunderbolt, but it's like between maybe a Thunderbolt here and then 1 or 2 attacks from Spencer's backbench. That's probably going to be enough. So it really comes down to sort of the war of attrition, maybe.
Yeah. and smartly tearing his Primarina. So
Okay.
obviously, Damage said, "All right, skip it. I'm not even gonna try to attack that. I'm gonna wait it out. I'm gonna just do something else and attack this Mabosif, and hopefully, Terra Blast,
Okay.
Terra Blast, and
It looks
Thunderbolt
like
will."
Spencer's playing it safe here still. I would have I guess it's like if you're in a favorable position, you don't really need to go for as risky of a move as Focus Blast. But at the same time, it's like I don't know, maybe like rolling the dice there would have been nice. But either way, now you got Mabosif down to pretty low HP, so can't really complain.
Yeah, at this point, like Mabosif is at very low HP. You can take advantage of that. I will say that since Mabosif actually has access to Protect, it could be a little bit funky how it plays out. Oh wait,
Oh,
never mind. Has
the
Life Orb.
Rocky
No,
Helmet.
no, no, Rocky Helmet. That's what it was. Thank you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
Timing wise, the reflect going down there is kind of nice for Robbie, but also it's like you got Primarina on the field. That's that's your special your main special attacker, so it doesn't really matter that much.
no, it does not. And the thing is, like, what is Primarina going to do to Sinistra? It can, it can do some damage to Hoopa with Moonblast or anything like that. But like, what is it going to do to Sinistra? Sinistra can just keep doing Magic Gotcha, Shadow Balls, whatever.
Right,
Or
and
Rage
even
Powder
with
too.
with a not very effective Machagacha, you're still getting single target damage with built-in healing. So, and you've got the Rage Powder. Yeah, I feel like this is pretty chalked for Robbie right now.
Exactly.
Oh man,
Like,
the damage on that.
Hoopa's just crazy, man. I'm so glad we decided to. Oh, the Shadow Ball. I don't know how much Shadow Ball's gonna do, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but the Citrus Berry, that's gonna turn that 2-hit KO into probably a 3-hit, and that's Robbie doesn't have enough time for a 3-hit KO while he's getting Hyperspace Fury done.
Each Hyperspace Fury doing like 45 to 55% to Primarina. Yeah.
That's just not enough. That's a really big thing. Spencer keeping his sort of final boss Pokemon in the back until Robbie's team was already pretty worn down, and then it just cleans up. I feel like that was just the way that story went.
I mean, the thing is, the way that Spencer's team was built, it was definitely built for these type of longer, I wouldn't say drawn out, but more meticulous type of battling. I don't think that Robbie's team is built for that. It looked like it was built for I'm gonna hit him hard, hit him fast, right? How are you gonna hit him hard and fast enough to get rid of all those mons on this team?
Yeah, it seems like Spencer's team is just like robust enough that it's not necessarily going to fall to. I mean, the Tornadus was even able to take 2 whole scale shots, and that was mostly because of Spencer's good positioning, his good move choice, and his smart investment of his Terra. All of that came together to really shut down Baxcalibur's offensive presence, and then the rest of his play helped him to wear down the rest of the team. And at that point, it doesn't really matter how much burst offense you've got. You're just not bringing enough to the table to deal with that final boss.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, even if you somehow get past, the initial more defensive front or anything like that, as you said, how are you going to get past Hoopa? Like, Hoopa's just sitting there like, okay, that's cool. You got rid of everybody else. What about me, though?
And then, I mean, it's like you've got the Sinistcha support with both the redirection and the healing. You've got the extra defense from Reflect, and then you've just got the raw offense from a lot of these guys to help support it as well. So it definitely a really solidly built team. It looks like Robbie's mixing things up with bringing out Kilowattrel and Iron Tread, so 2 new faces for this game number 2.
And we have the Quark Drive. I'm assuming it's going to be Speed Quark Drive. Yes, it is. So this is a very interesting. This is a very interesting lead because while Kilowattrel can possibly do a lot of damage to Tornadus and or Sinistra, a couple redirects, a couple switch arounds could essentially just make the great lead that he has right now to become null and void. So it is very interesting to see how this is going to go.
Right. I guess one interesting thing is this Tornadus isn't going to be that scared of Iron Treads, because the worst it can do, Iron Head probably hurts, but it's not that big of a deal. And then it's immune to high horsepower. Sinistral doesn't have the option to set Trick Room, so I guess that's one thing to consider. But it's like it can still, it's still annoying to deal with. And yeah, that Iron Head definitely not hurting Rotom. Great switch from Spencer.
Actually hurting the Iron Treads more than the Rotom itself.
Yeah.
And we have Focus Miss.
Focus Miss.
Well, this is actually a great 2 that Damage and Spencer has right now, because what damage is there going to be done to Rotom that has Levitate and to Tornadus?
Rotom kind of walls both of Robbie's Pokemon here. Like, it'll take some damage from Electro Web, but it's like, who cares? It's not going to be that much. And yeah, like the Iron Tread's the best it can do is a Mega Horn, and it's still going to be taking Rocky Helmet damage. It looks like, yes, that Iron Treads is getting the hell out of there for now. Primarina coming in. Probably a safe switch. Not going to get Thunderbolted here unless Spencer's really hard reading.
That would be a crazy read. But, you get rewarded for that, but that's a crazy read.
Spencer can make some gutsy reads, but I don't think he really needs to right now. He's just got a really solid board state right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, some basic speed control right now with Electro Web, and I'm curious of what we're going to do Hydro Pump into the Kilowattrel. Good neutral target to go after, because like even if he switches out, almost everything except for Back Galloper will be taking heavy damage. Yeah,
honestly, seemed like a pretty solid move regardless of what Robbie did. It just the extra speed, or the speed reduction with the Electro Web is probably going to help this Primarina to represent more damage before Spencer can even hit it. But even then, you're not able to hit either of these Pokemon on the field that hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's what Robbie is coming to the conclusion. He's like, all right, this is a little tough, because he can just keep swapping out his Regenerator Mon and his Hospitality Mon like this. So it's like, okay, what damage am I really doing here,
Yeah, this just kind of looks like an ideal state of affairs for Spencer. It doesn't feel like Robbie's able to do a whole lot of damage right now. Well, as I say that, that's a pretty nice Moonblast.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how much that... that's an opponent.
That did very little, too. Yeah, the Assault Vest is no joke. That's, I was saying, like, Rotom doesn't have to worry about Primarina. That Moonblast kind of shut me up. That was some good damage. But now it's
that's crazy. That's crazy amount of damage.
Ooh, the Helping Hand. So what is Tornadus going for?
It missed. It missed the Tornadus.
Missing Tornadus, and that could be huge, because then Tornadus is definitely going to outspeed. What's it doing? Probably Icy. Oh, Bleak Wind. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. With that Helping Hand, it did a real amount of damage to the Primarina right there, and definitely that Electro Web really changed the entire. Yeah, even with that damage from that Hyper Voice, look at that.
Yeah. The single target Hyper Voice. It did alright damage, but the Assault Vest really showing its value there. And now the Hospitality coming out. Take a sip.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bax versus Tornadus didn't go that well for Robbie last time, but I do feel like, I feel like it's still generally favorable for Robbie. It's just like, he got kind of gooped by the combination of Reflect and Hospitality, so not having those on the table helps. There's no Reflect Up, right?
No, there's no Reflect Up, not this time.
I wasn't sure if I missed it while I was yapping about something else.
Nah, you're good. I will say though, right now, Robbie has not used his Terra on his Excalibur, and I have a feeling this time he will actually consider using it this time. So just in case, so he doesn't get Terra blasted to the face, taking like 60%. Because
Well, it's Terra Fairy, so
oh
um,
yeah, my bad, my
so
bad.
the Terra Steel actually covers that really nicely.
Yeah, so now I'm wondering, like, what can he really do to get rid of this Tornadus? Because that's pretty
Right.
much the real thing that he has to get rid of at this one. Because there's not much you can do.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you can. I mean, you'd have to be really gutsy to go for like a hard read, high horsepower before he shows
Hmm.
Terra, and now, um,
Yeah.
so now that he's used up the protect and he sees, ooh, wow, even surviving the crit.
That is a very lucky crit, and that Moonblast not doing that much damage, but it was covering Switch, it was covering a lot of things right there. But that crit really did change a lot of things. And I do
Yeah,
like damage reading that double protect, or at least saying let me get rid of this Primarina because Primarina would not probably Oko Hoopa, but it would do a lot of damage to Hoopa. And if Excalibur decided to do Icicle Spear or whatever onto Sinistra, that would have been detrimental. So
right. So I guess as far as the state of affairs right now goes, Bax does represent some really good damage on either of these Pokemon on the field, and it can do a lot to Hoopa as well. Uh, so that's at least nice that it's at full HP, but
hmm
Primarina is probably going to get knocked out before it can do anything else. So I wonder, does Robbie stay in with it? Does he preserve it and bring in his Pokemon in the back? I'm not sure. No
yeah, this is
switches.
probably the most safe choice for Robbie, which is just to essentially sacrifice the Primarina. Hopefully, this Icicle Spear. It looks like we're needing 5. At
Yeah. Thanks to the Citrus Berry and like its interaction with multi hits, this might this might come down to a 4 versus 5. Oh no!
oh,
Oh, and that's a huge bounce in Spencer's favor, definitely. Because keeping
definitely.
Sinistcha out, keeping it in the game is huge. I guess I'm trying to think about if I were Spencer, would I actually want Sinistcha to go down there so I get Hoopa out? It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, at that point, it's like okay, but at the same time, the
Oh, we got a
you
friend
know,
request for Spencer here. Spencer,
do
hit your home button right now.
you know that if anything, Spencer would want to keep this Tornadus alive. So this Rage Powder is probably going to be coming out next, and high horsepower is going to be doing whatever damage it does to Sinister. That doesn't really matter, right? But
It looks
Thunderbolt,
like
so long as the Tornadus can switch in and switch out, get his generator boost going, this might be a very close ender. I don't know how this is going to go.
right. Yeah, I mean, Spencer getting so much mileage out of Regenerator this set. Just a lot of extra healing to help him out here. And going for the protect.
I love
That's
it. I love it.
okay. So now how does Hoopa? Ooh,
Oh my
oh, big
god.
crit!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the double crit.
We just said, I don't care about your dang on T right there. We're destroying that thing. We're destroying that big old portal mon. That
Yeah,
is
all
crazy.
right. Well, that makes the Switch a little bit less good. I feel like if that had been Rage Powder plus the Switch, it would have been nicer. But I think that this still isn't over. I don't think.
Hmm.
I'm trying to game it out in my head. I think this is definitely favorable for Robbie though. Yeah, because
Well,
how does he hit? He has focus miss for Iron Treads, right?
exactly.
But
Yeah, he's coming to the same conclusion that we're coming to. Is like, okay, he
yeah,
has to hit this focus miss.
yeah, not a great position to be in. Um, I've played enough singles to not believe in focus bias,
Exactly.
but sometimes if that's your out, that's your out.
You know, we got the high horsepower, which is going to do,
Yeah, that takes it out. And now what does
But now we have to rely on focus miss, and it hits this time.
Okay. And yeah, down he goes. I guess a high horsepower miss here would
Oh
wait.
my
the
goodness!
survival. This
And Terrablast should clean it up.
I don't. How much did Terrablast do? It did like. Okay. We've got the Terra Fairy, so focus. So if he goes for focus miss, that doesn't help. But if he goes for the Terra Blast, that won't change the type matchup.
No, I think this should be enough for damage to close out.
Yeah, I forget how much it did. It did enough, yeah. Dang. So that's Spencer up 2-0 in what looked like a favorable endgame for Robbie. Spencer finds his way into it with the help of, focus miss, despite its name, it is more likely to hit than miss.
Yes, that is true. Well, it is 70% accuracy.
It's like
so they say.
Yeah. And it came through, so I think it earned its spot on this Tornadus' move list for this set.
The truth is, though, he needed that focus blast to hit because there was really no end game for damage without it. So that perfectly placed Rage Powder kind of baited out the what do you say? The Iron Treads. And if he protected, oh sorry, you say.
If Robbie had gone for Scale Shot for his first move, then he would have been faster than the Tornadus, and then maybe he would have been able to do a either a second Scale Shot depending on the damage, or just do a high horsepower then. But it's honestly, in Robbie's position, I would have thought high horsepower would kill there anyway. So
it nearly did
for what he did. Yeah, it's that's a tough game to lose, because now instead of having it tied back up, now you're just down 2. So Robbie's really got to figure out something here, and we've got the Trick Room lead from Spencer here.
And the real question I'm about to say is what could he do to even stop this Trick Room lead? Because
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, this seems like one of those. I've read you these first 2 games. The last game came out very close. Let me bring out the TR, and what I'm really so serious about this. What can you do to stop it? Your Kilowattrel's not going to do enough damage to take out Sinistra in one hit. So we're kind of just sitting here.
Yeah, and it's obviously you don't really want to throw out an Electro Web or a Tailwind when you've got Mr. Trick Room ready to press the Trick Room button on you.
Exactly.
And so it's the best you can do is take out the Sinistra with by doubling up on it with Icicle Spear and Air Slash. But then it's Spencer gets a free switch on any of his guys, and he's got full Trick Room turns to work with.
Exactly.
We do have the Terra Fairy here.
I get it, though. It's pretty much to mitigate Dark Pulse and Hyperspace Fury, but then you get opened up by, and I have to say opened up in quotations, but at the same time not quotations, by Terra Electric Hoopa, which is
going
to do some real damage.
The Air Slash did more than I would have expected it to, but it's still if it's not 100%, it's not enough.
Exactly.
Sure.
And that's doing something, but you're now in this weird spot where now Hoopa and Bao can kind of just do its own thing.
Right. I think this is going to come down to how well Robbie can play the board, and time his protects correctly, time his switches correctly, versus Spencer's ability to either predict that or cover those options as well as he can.
Yeah, almost anything coming out from this Hoopa is just going to do some fat damage, Terra Electric Thunderbolt, not even Terra Electric Thunderbolt onto Mad Excalibur, plus a plus a thunderbolt or hydro pump from Rotom's gonna do bazooka amount of damage. So this is
Right.
more like, do you want to preserve your Bascalor? Do you want to do you want to have it in the back? Do you want to just do immediate damage? Like I feel for Robbie right now because it's like, man, this is the worst thing. I'm pretty sure he just knew he didn't want to have from the jump.
Yeah. I think looking at Robbie's team, I would definitely not want to have to run against a Trick Room with this. And here we are. He does make a good switch there,
Oh,
getting rewarded for his efforts with a critical hit. But even then, Primarina took it pretty well. And actually, he goes for the Icicle Spear. The Reflect
doing
is
some real
really
damage.
playing. Yeah, it's doing some like good damage, and the crit
Oh my
also.
goodness.
Wait,
Okay.
it's not quite enough, but that's a pretty decent turn for Robbie.
I would say, in fact, that's probably favorable because now he's in a position where he could double up into that Hoopa slot. He could do a Hyper Voice to do spread damage, and then just to cover if like they switch out the Hoopa, Icicle Spear in that slot again. So this is, I would say, favorable, almost favorable in Robbie's position for now.
Honestly, yeah, having to sacrifice the Sinistcha for the Trick Room setup. Oh, and actually Primarina going first. So this must be a pretty slow build on Primarina. It's like it's not a fast mon generally, but
No.
like, yeah.
Primarina being base 60 and Hoopa. Oh, the Thunderbolt making it even faster in Trick Room.
Yeah.
Primarina being base 60 while also, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Doing.
Excalibur fans look away.
I am sorry. Yeah, it's four hits. That's
At least Icicle Spear doesn't make contact. That's what I. Because man, if you took 4 Icicle Spear Rocky Helmet hits there, that would have been rough.
That would have been real rough right there. But right now, that lead that we thought was very strong kind of got flipped on its head because of that one critical hit from the Hoopa, from the Baxcalibur onto the Hoopa. So now, right now, I would say that Spence is now on the backflip because now Tornadus is the slowest mon in Trick Room right now, and
right,
you're gonna be taking some damage one way or another.
Yeah, we got, and you've still got Kilowattrel and a Mystery Mon in the back, and Trick Room will be going away soon-ish. Not super soon though. Okay, so getting a little bit of chip with the Hyper Voice, and Kilowattrel dodging Hydro Pump. Yeah, Primarina hanging on.
And this will be the last turn of Trick Room. Yeah.
Thank you, Spencer. I was just wondering about that.
So he's hoping on a paralysis at this point because that's really the only thing that can really mitigate the position that he's in right now. Because a Hyper Voice is not going to kill, but it's not supposed to kill. It's supposed to chip, right?
Right. The big thing is if Kilowattrel survives this turn, then it gets to put up a Trick Room. Or not Trick Room, a Tailwind, right as the Trick Room's ending. And it dodges the Hydro Pump. That's huge.
And it dodges a Blink Wind!
Oh, wait. Oh, Primarina.
Oh, no. Primarina dodged the Blink Wind. I was about to say, I was like, whoa, okay. That's crazy.
Oh, and actually the Electro Web, so going a bit more offensive, getting some damage down, and that the speed drop is still going to be pretty meaningful. I think that, this one, as far as, I feel like both of us thought this was going to be much more difficult for Robbie, but he showed, hey, he's still got the damage for it, and the Terra Fairy on Bax actually felt very difficult for Hoopa to deal with effectively, because then you've got Hyperspace Fury breaks Protect, but it's also not very effective. So are you really going for that? It's like that sort of deal.
Right now, this is looking strongly in Robbie's favor. I will never saying never, but I mean there'd
have to be some crazy favorable things happening for Spencer for this to ever work out.
Exactly. And if I had to guess, that Excalibur is going to be coming back with the 100%. Oh, okay. Wanted to reveal the 4th mon. Okay.
Yeah, just to flex a little bit.
Interesting.
I mean, high horsepower doesn't have perfect accuracy, even though you could just
That's
go
why I was
fire
like, I
head.
thought you wanted the perfect accuracy, icicle spears, but hey,
Yeah. Oh, it
And
is.
as we said it,
This is how he wins.
that
Okay,
would be
well,
funny. Like
Electro
literally,
Web.
electro web and high
Yeah.
horsepower keeps missing.
Okay, well, Robbie's still in this then. The Trick Room mode proved to not be as favorable. And I think maybe some of that comes down to we were talking about how the big strength for Spencer's team is its bulk, its staying power. And with Trick Room, you kind of like that's more of an offensive mode where you kind of
hmm
want to kill him before Trick Room ends. And even though Robbie didn't have the full speed advantage because of Trick Room, still had like the slow Primarina to take advantage of it. He still
Yep.
had more damage on his side of the field thanks to Baxcalibur just blasting through that reflect. And that is one nice thing about those multi-hit moves. You get multiple chances to hit a crit, and all of a sudden the reflect is not there for that hit.
One of the things that you said earlier in the set was that what the strength that Damage actually has is that he can essentially bulk you out in the beginning, but then have his real behemoth of a monster in the back. And I think
Right.
that probably is the better play to go, how to do this thing, because as we've seen, it seems like Robbie has a hard time breaking that initial wall and then getting to Hoopa eventually. Because Hoopa,
Right.
as we all know, does, crazy damage, right? So that's why I think, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a switch up right now. We're going to be seeing a little bit of a, confidence from Robbie, because honestly, like I said, that from that lead, I really thought that like that entire game was gonna just be, Spencer just taking his time, just cleaning him up. But
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, it was shaping up to be the Hoopa show, but then
hmm
like Hoopa got like his contract expired too early or something. I don't know. He had to leave really fast. They like wrote him off in the middle of the first season. And
Yeah,
that's not how you want the story to go. Definitely. It looks like Robbie's sticking with his Tailwind lead, and this uh this could work out pretty nicely. It really kind of comes down to how Tornadus and Baxcalibur interact with each other here.
exactly.
Really.
Like if he chooses to do like a helping hand, Terra Steel, Terra Blast onto Baxcalibur, that kind of might be all she wrote, because I'm not gonna say Baxcalibur is its only damage dealer on this team, but it is his primary damage dealer on this
Yeah.
team. So it's going to be like, okay, how do you get rid of the rest of this team? Like if he has Treads in the back, how is Treads gonna hit Rotom for like reasonable amount of damage? That's the
Right.
type of thing that I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Bax definitely. It's like he can hit basically everybody on the team for reliable, at least neutral damage, and
hmm
so taking that away would be really huge for Spencer. And yeah, this
hmm
the Terra Steel, Terra Blast has been really huge both offensively and defensively on this Tornadus. It's been putting in so much work for him.
For sure. And, it makes me wonder, oh, goodness. Oh, wait, Helping Hand goes before Protect, so it makes me wonder if Robbie's going to try to scout out the Terra, and he did not scout out the Terra.
No?
Is he just going to go with his heart and press high horsepower, or is he just going to go
Yeah,
for the
if he
Ice
hard
Spear?
reads this. Oh, he
Oh,
just
no, he
scale
went
shots.
for the
That
scale
Bax is
shot.
dead. And it might take out the Rotom.
I don't think so.
No, it won't be enough. Even if it had hit a fifth time, I don't think it would have been enough. So this
Exactly.
is just I don't think Bax survives this because of the
Yeah, with the Helping Hand boost? Hell no.
yeah, helping hand makes the difference here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to like stop the reflect or something like that, but I mean, your Baxcalibur is just dead, bud. It's like that's rough.
Yeah, and now it's like, even if you bring in Iron Treads, like, you press high horsepower into the slot that's going to probably switch out for, Sinistra or something like that. It's like, oof.
Yeah. Yeah, like if this is a Sinistra switch here, that's just like an absolute like Bax died for nothing.
Yeah, and
He's still-
sometimes I'd be like that. That's really sometimes
Yeah.
you're like, you switch it out. You're like, damn, bro. And you know what? With Sinister switching in, Hospitality is going to, heal up the Rotom. So even an Electro Web is not going to kill off the Rotom. So if the
Right.
Rotom hits a Hydro Pump on this on this Iron Treads, all she wrote. Okay.
That's probably a good choice because we saw the Hydro Pump coming out for Iron Treads, and that would have been curtains.
Pretty much.
So
Yeah,
now
that was
we got
easy.
-1 on the Sinistcha, -2 on the Rotom. Still, like, not a ton of damage on the board here. And then, yeah, the Tornadus was able to switch out and now gets its Regenerator. It's like, there's just... This is, again, leaning into that bulk that we've been talking about, and it's really showing its strength here. He's up a whole mon.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, he took out, even being bulky, he took out Baxcalibur in one turn.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the linchpin, the damage linchpin that Robbie had. So now it's more like, all right, I took out your big damage dealer. How are you going to deal with my bulk? And the truth is, it's not like he can. And, Mega Horn.
And he went for the Mega Horn into the Rotom slot, but because it's like, who's gonna hard read the Tornadus switch in here, right? That
Exactly.
would be nutty.
Like, you could try to do that, but it's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like, it's so much risk for, like, I don't even think that it kills, right? Because, like...
No.
Like,
it might kill the Rotom with that low percent. I mean, that low health left. It might have killed that.
The high horsepower into it would...
Oh, no. That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, the Electro Web was not going to kill the Rotom anyway. So, there's, like, a couple plays that are happening right here that are pretty high level, And, like, the thing is, right now, the Iron Tread is faster than the Kilowattrel, right?
Right.
So, essentially, he can't even hit the Tornadus with a high horsepower because it's just going to Rage Powder.
Yeah, this is...
Oh, my... And he's getting Regenerator back, and my gosh.
More Regenerator, just constantly cycling these guys around, making it impossible for Robbie to get a beat on any of these guys.
Okay, goes for the Iron Head. Safe damage.
Oh, just
pretty much reading the double switch. He's reading the double switch. Yeah.
That actually, I think that was exactly the play Robbie needed, because now you don't have the hospitality element there. You've still got to deal with the Regenerator, but that's still, this puts a hole in Robbie or in Spencer's game plan, definitely.
The thing that he has right now is that if I'm correct, this Kilowattrel should be faster than this Infernape, base 125 to base 1 so whatever Infernape is. So it's really just dependent on how much this Air Slash can do to this Infernape. Because if I was Robbie, I would protect his treads and then just hope that all the moves that you need to hit at the right time. But we've seen something happen.
Do we think like Helping Hand Mach Punch could kill the? Oh wait. Whoa.
He just went for it.
Yeah, talk about gambits. Holy crap. And I think this is going to pay off pretty well.
And it misses!
Oh, no. These 95 accuracy moves, man.
And that misses!
What is it? All right. We need to do, like, free eye exams or something for these Pokemon. Check in at your nearest Pokemon Center. That's, like, everybody's just missing everything right now. Except Focus Miss. Focus Miss hit last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, wait, right now, yeah, high horsepower stab, high horsepower. What? And that didn't kill.
But the Electro Web,
okay.
Up, and Electro Web miraculously hitting both targets.
This game, I swear, gave me like 2 minutes before this. I definitely thought that Damage won this game, but Robbie really just showing his stuff and the Hydro Pump miss again.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Rotom really needs to get his act together because he's. Oh my gosh! Wait. I guess it is quad resisted, but it's still like, damn, dude.
Super bulky. Like that's what Rotom Wash can do, but like, dang.
Yes, sir. Well,
we're going down to game 5.
Yeah, we're going to game 5. So really interestingly, Spencer didn't even bring Hoopa that time around, and it felt like Infernape uh, did not really earn his spot there. He just,
No,
he just got goobed immediately. And maybe
I
I'm
mean the
being
thing
too
is,
mean to the guy, but
I see the vision as to why, because say that the speed booster energy ran out, Kotama kills, treads.
right.
Kotama kills Vax that does not Terra, and it does a lot of damage. I can see it, but it just obviously did not work out that way. And right now we're looking, because I mean, Smith started off the set 2-0, and now Robbie brought it back to 2-2.
Yeah.
Are we seeing Robbie doing the craziest amount of like adaptations to bring it back, or are we going to see Spencer go back to his original game plan of hunkering down in defense to eventually bring out Hoopa in the back to clean up the game?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if Spencer can bring some of the magic that he was working in those first 2 games. It seemed like it felt like Game 4 was going like games 1 and 2 until that turn where Robbie doubled into the Sinistcha. I feel like that changed everything that game.
I mean, that was the best play that he could do, because it was like, all right, if I'm predicting the double switch, because like if I don't get this, I lose. But if I do get this, and I like that decision making. Not many people would be bold enough to do that so close to finals. But Robbie said, "Well, I'm already on the outs. I might as well try this again."
Yeah, and now it looks like this is a pretty familiar board, but Spencer notably swapping Tornadus and Rotom to be on opposite sides of the field this time.
Ooh, he had to switch it up on him.
Yeah, see, it's totally different now. Now the Focus Blast will guaranteed hit the guy on the other side.
For sure. But now this is an interesting spot because, as we saw last game, Spencer was very okay with doing Helping Hand, Terra, a Steel, turn 1. And now the question will be, will Robbie, protect his Excalibur to scout it out? Will he, or will he just go on the offensive? It really just depends on how he feels right now, because this is very scary, because we saw what happened last match.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's a lot of different permutations off of this beginning state of the game, and if one side gets a favorable turn 1, it can just completely blow the game wide open.
Exactly. And hearing the last play, what happened last time, he protected this time. Reading that, he's probably, I didn't really look, but I mean, I'm assuming that, yes, he's going to press Reflect on his Rotom, which I think will change the entire, complexity of this game, because, a lot of his team is physical.
Right. Yeah, I think that helping to mitigate the amount of damage that Bax can put out could be a really huge thing. But not terraing did make the Electroweb do quite a bit more damage as well. And now you've got these guys at -1, both of them, and you've got Reflect up, but I mean, this could be rough.
Oh, and he was predicting.
All right.
He was probably predicting that the Terra Steel was happening right there, but no, it seems like Damage wants to play it slow, get his hospitality going, and pretty much control the tempo.
And Primarina versus Sinistcha, it's like, Hyper Voice not really gonna hit with this sort of a board state, but Primarina can still do work in other ways. I don't know, does it outspeed these guys when they're at -1 and -2 respectively?
I mean, I don't know, especially since we don't know how defensive he made his. Wait a second.
Yeah,
this
we've
is
got
a really good spot.
Yeah, we've got like the Goat physical attacker and Goat special attacker from Robbie's team, and Primarina is definitely going to outspeed Rotom.
Yeah,
because it's at -2, and Bax is going to outspeed Sinistcha because it's at -1. So I feel like this is going to force Spencer into either doing like a protect or some other defensive play to get around that.
Well, I mean, he has a reflect going on, so there's that
Right.
benefit, and
Oh,
he
I
has a
guess
citrus berry.
yeah, the citrus that is huge.
And the Machagacha is going to do
Okay.
some real damage to,
Yeah.
well, maybe not real damage, but it's going to do some damage, enough damage where, he has to rethink about doing certain things.
Right. The thermal exchange will protect backs from getting burned at least. So Robbie doesn't have to worry about that piece of RNG, but ooh,
That Moon
that's
Blitz.
actually yeah. The matcha, I mean, it's super effective despite the assault vest. That's like reasonable damage. That's some healing. I'm not sure what to
And,
make of this. There's like, ooh, burn on
yeah, the
Primarina.
unfortunate burn.
It could be worse, but getting your bulky assault vest guy chipped down by burn never feels good. And went
Leading
for
the Terra Fire, that's what it was probably going for the Hydro Pump for.
right, right. I guess like because yeah, it's like if you switch in Iron Treads there, or you go Terrifier, you're just gone.
Exactly, just destroyed.
But now, I guess we'll see how this turns out. We've still got 2 turns of Reflect on Spencer's side, and now Citrus Berry's gone. It's really hard to tell exactly where this is going to go, but I feel like Robbie's just showing a lot more like uh a lot more threat from his side of the field. But
Mm-hmm.
but Spencer's still got 2 real heavy hitters in the back, so it's definitely very far from like I wouldn't call this like a position I'd want to be in necessarily.
Oh goodness, he got the helping hand. Okay, so,
Helping hand,
scale shot. Oh,
and
I
actually,
understand. I see the scale shot. I understand it. I definitely understand it. It's before the end game. The end game, just in
right,
case.
getting that
I see it.
speed. The helping hand is really nice from Spencer though. It's like Rotom was probably dead at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so slow that it was going to be going last. So getting the helping hand before you go just to boost up this Machagacha.
Oh, this
That could
Machagacha is gonna do
be
some real damage with the helping hand too.
yeah.
Okay.
The helping hand, the healing will be really nice. Uber Eats is playing Mario Kart World.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's really nothing you could say about that. But right now, this is a very scary position because, like, yeah, tornadoes can come in and Terra Steel and,
Yeah.
and some fat damage. And the thing is, like,
And you've
what
got
are you gonna
the
do to stop
Rage
it?
Powder.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, what do we do here now? This is I think that on Spencer's end, I think you kind of wish that you had more reflect turns to work with, but it's like I think that Sinistcha and Rotom at least kind of set things up. So Primarina's hurting, Bax is hurting to some extent, and Kilowattrel's gone. So we'll see if they've set things up well enough for the cleanup crew to come in at this point.
Yeah, because, like, at this point, like, if you protect on the Sinistra, you kind of put yourself in a good position, but you'll still take heavy damage from Primarina anyway, or like
Right.
with the Hyper Voice or whatever move. If you choose to Terra Steel, okay, like, yeah, you can kill off the back scale. Actually, I don't even know I don't know if the back Excalibur dies.
Right.
Yeah,
The
this is
Rage
smart.
does come out. So
We do,
that'll
like, Bleak
redirect
Wind
if this is
Storm?
like a okay.
Yeah.
So Bleak Wind, and it definitely
Hits.
faster than Primarina. It does hit.
If it didn't hit that down, that'd be a whole different story right
Yeah,
there.
that would have been curtains. So we've got. I guess we don't know who Robbie's last mon is, but this will be a. Okay, we got the treads. This is +1 backs, so this is a little bit different from some previous late game board states. But this is still like you got the redirection, you still got the Terra as an option.
Yeah.
But not like revealed yet. So like it's a real gamble on Robbie's end if he's gonna try to high horsepower into the guy who is flying type right now. It's like this is really tricky for Robbie, but it's definitely not like I wouldn't say that Spencer's like locked this up at this point.
I would say the only way that he could lock this up is if Focus Blast actually hits something,
Yeah,
either the treads or if it hits the Baxcalibur, because
yeah,
this is just like you're gritting your teeth at this point. You're like, I don't know which one's gonna
yeah.
do. I don't know what's gonna happen.
This might come down to if Focus Blast can do its thing here. Oh, he's going for the Terra Blast. He's just trying to get rid of Bax.
Well, the thing is, we do know this much. Uh, the Baxcalibur is actually slower than the treads, even with the booster going on.
Right.
So, yeah, now we're gonna see like, okay, now we're gonna have to see how this plays out, this shakes out, because this is, very dangerous.
Right.
I don't even know what to say. Like, you have to kill off the Sinistra, and then,
Yeah.
I don't even know what's gonna happen.
Is this Terra Blast range? Is this I'm pretty sure this is Terra Blast range.
And he pressed Iron Head. Okay, he
Iron
went for
Head. And Icicle Spear does take out the Sinistra, but now we've got a fully loaded Terra Blast coming straight for Bax.
From what I remember, it didn't like. This might be a roll. This might be a roll. And it is a roll that works in his favor.
Down goes Bax, and I don't know. Does I don't know if Treads has enough to deal with the cleanup crew back here. You got a full health Hoopa, and you can't even rely on like Ironhead flinches because it's Covert Cloak.
And as we knew before, the high horsepower it's not 100% KO on the Tornadoes. It's going to be a roll to how much it does. So, this is all scary. And yes, Dark Pulse is the only thing you can really click, because if you press Hyperspace Fury, you can just die to the next high horsepower because it lowers your defense. So, this is a very tight game right here.
Still, it looks like it might still come down to. Well, okay. I think the first thing is like.
It misses.
Oh, it missed! No way. Focus
and
Blast hitting what? And I think that's all she wrote. Yep. That is and
crazy.
Sure, crit. It crit as well, because
why not? Why not?
Yeah, just to really twist the knife there. Man, what a set! That one went the distance. That was a great set for sure.
Robbie. In my opinion, those games that he won, I thought he was on the back foot, and he just said nah. And like this game, how it went was literally just back and forth. I loved it.
Oh yeah,
this was crazy. A crazy set.
At any point in that set, we thought it was going one way, and it went the other way, and it kept juggling back and forth on us. You can't really ask for much more out of a set. That was super exciting.
That's true. At this point, I would like to talk to the players, but if they're not ready, we can, wait for a second. But I do know the one thing that you kept saying in the beginning of the set was ring Hoopa in the back and you win. Notice the 2 games that he lost, Hoopa was not in the back.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it really makes a huge difference when you got a big scary guy that you can't OHKO. And yeah, that was really huge. Well, I think I might have heard one of our players like grunt at us. So let's we can kick off questions. Chuck, did you have anything in mind, or
yeah? I was gonna ask Damage. So those game 3 and 4, when you game 4 where you didn't bring Hoopa, and then game 3 that you brought in the Trick Room in the lead. How confident were you in that lead? Because Shrug and I were like, oh yeah, that lead's gonna straight up clean up, and you didn't win that game. But I'm just curious because that seemed like a very strong lead.
I want to start by saying GG's to Robbie. That was a crazy set.
GG's.
My thought process was I had the Trick Room mode as a thing. That was actually a Scarf Hoopa pretty much till this morning. Then like randomly I got the urge to make it a Covert Cloak one because I felt Hoopa's moves were kind of limiting. If I like locked into Psychic, he might switch him a Boss Stiff or Treads, or it just felt very difficult to lock into moves, so I decided to switch it to that. My thought was, honestly, I wasn't that certain it would be good. I needed him to do the Slazzle Kilo lead kind of, and he wasn't doing it. But I figured if I'm up 2-0, I should probably take a swing at least on a different mode than what I'd shown so far, which is kind of relying on like this balance between like Torn, Sinishan, Rotom. And I was just like, okay, I'm up 2-0. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna. If I lose it, it's not really like something, and I don't really feel bad about that lost game. The game
Mm-hmm.
4, I think, was definitely more me misplaying and Robbie outplaying me. Game 3 was just like, I'm gonna go for a hard lead. If I get the advantage, it's huge. If I don't, I still have some games to like rely on. Kind of my thought.
Right. It was interesting because here in the commentary booth, we thought, oh man, like this is fine for Spencer. He gets guaranteed Trick Room up, but losing Sinistcha and taking that much damage on Hoopa felt like it really kind of kneecapped your potential in that game. Like how were you feeling after after seeing the crit from the icicle spear and just having Hoopa so low after turn 1? Like, did you still feel like you were in the driver's seat, or did you feel like this was a mistake?
No, I thought that game was just over. I was like, oh, this game's just over. Like, to be honest, I like knew that game was over like basically turn 2. To be honest, if my Hydro Pump hit on that Kilo, I basically said, okay, I'm not gonna Terra. I'll just play tough for a turn, and then Robbie switched out his backs. If
Yeah,
my Hydro hit, maybe I could have made it into like a game. But I'd say it wasn't looking ideal. It was kind of just one of those where like, I don't know, I wanted to kind of see how my pieces were doing. I think this is probably, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the week Hoopa got the least amount of kills, even if it's 5 games. I really don't think Hoopa was definitely not as instrumental. His presence is always felt, obviously, but I feel like, I mean, the MVP was just Tornadus.
yeah,
Tornadus to me put on like, I didn't even think that Mon was capable of such things, to be quite frank. But
yeah,
I,
yeah.
it
Tornadus put in a lot of work. I mean, he was super hard to remove, super bulky, and he had the damage to really like make him being on the field matter.
Yeah, because I was just always good with Terra Steel into that team. I wasn't sure if Robbie would run You obviously want ground stab on backs, but you don't always run it, right? Sometimes you want to be like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really you don't think you needed it initially. It's just good coverage to have, which he did, and it was smart because I did run Terra Steel. And I just figured that for the most part, Steel's pretty good into the team, and the Terra Blast was kind of just like, I need a 4th option. I considered knockoff. I considered a few things, but I kind of knew what I was going to. Torn was just kind of like Rip Focus Blast and Terra Blast. That's literally all I had in mind. I was just like, I think it could be pretty good. It was
Yeah,
certainly
that
Right.
Terra
risky.
Blast, it just did so much more damage than I was expecting it to, man.
Yeah,
It
the
it
helping hand Oko in that one game felt
That was
like
scary.
so.
That was some scary stuff right there.
it had because I realized that game 1, I was like, wow, Robbie, I could have helping handed there because we didn't. Well, here's the thing. I'm actually running like basically no speed in that Torn. I think it always outspeeds the backs, I guess. So it's like I knew that but I wasn't so. It's like I know I always had that helping hand option, but then once you introduce gear, right? Because then it's like he could E-web and then he has to call my Terra play, right? There's like some trickery there, and then I think basically I don't know if we kept playing this matchup. I think we pretty much committed to Kilo backs versus like Rotom Torn. It felt like because to me it's like game
Yeah.
5. I knew Robbie would lead that, but I just looked at my lineup and I was like, I'm like out of juice, man. This is literally all I have because I just don't.
You played so good game 5, holding on to the Terra for so long.
I knew I needed
there's
to
so
do
many
because I had to win a fifth. My mind was I need to at some point probably win a 50-50 Terra call, and I was like I can't do it too early. I just gotta like I
You
just gotta
won
solve
almost
the
every 50-50 Terra call. I mean, every time I thought you were going to Terra, I protected, and that basically just sealed the deal for me, honestly.
Yeah.
It,
Well,
Oh, yeah,
even
you go.
even with that being said, I think that there's a lot to be proud of in that set and in this season in general, Robbie. I think that
those were close game 3 you
yeah,
blew me out, I'd say. Game 4, I literally did that helping hand Terra Blast play and still lost. You just kind of outplayed me because I just like I tried to make you like started calling my aggressive plays. It felt like, and then games 1 and 2, I was not very certain. I thought game 2 I was actually in position to lose at times. I think I barely won, right? Wasn't it like I just had like a barely enough damage off a Terra Blast or something? Like
yeah, and
those
there was
Yeah.
a focus blast and like there were some
yeah,
there
I
were
need
some
like a Death Blast to hit. Like for some reason
Game
when I
2, I
was
misplayed too, but I completely
you
just
did
forgot about.
you had to scale shot. If you
I
scale
forgot
shot, you
about
always won.
Regenerator existing.
Oh, that too. But you could have scale shot, I think, in 1 as well, because the last turn
right.
came down to you outspeeding Torn, and
Yeah. Well, I'm getting the word from our streamer that we want to wrap it up. But I will throw it to. I feel like Robbie didn't get this much. So, did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share, Robbie?
Um, had a good season. High horsepower miss is sad, but I
Yeah.
dodged so many hydro pumps, and also I don't think that killed. I think last time I hit him with one at full health, he lived.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was a roll. But yeah, it was a good run, but a little sad how it ended. But we'll just have to try again next season.
I feel that, man. I think this is a wonderful team. You've shown that you're an excellent team builder, both like draft wise and week to week wise. So I don't think that anybody can knock you for this kind of for sure. Well, any final thoughts from your end, Spencer?
No, I mean GG's to Robbie. I was obviously rooting for Robbie, but I can't I can't hold back. I hope Robbie does win eventually, just like all the other people haven't won yet. I think it's cool to see new winners, but I think Robbie would have hated me if I held back. So I played pretty hard, and I think you played just as hard, Robbie. So
Good shit.
Yep.
Good shit. All right. Well, I guess I think that's all we've got here, unless anybody has any last words. But hearing none, I think that we'll go ahead and sign off here. So thanks, folks, for joining us for this winners semi set, and catch us again. Are we gonna have a gap week?
One for I think there'll probably be a break before finals, but
Okay.
there is Raymond Fury is to be tomorrow night, so tune into that stream, and then Wednesday we should have Cyber v Ulico for who will be in finals as well. So.
Very cool. All right. Yeah, so look forward to that, folks, and we will see you then.
See ya.
Peace.